Shooting in low light with an action camera is not ideal. I mean, your best bet is to use something like the GoPro Light Mod if you really want good results. Even the newest GoPro Hero 12 doesn't look the best in the dark, but there are some ways to make it better that don't involve a light mod. In particular, the Hero 12 has one brand new key feature that, in my opinion, makes a pretty big difference when it comes to shooting in low light. And in this video, I'll share that with you, along with all of my GoPro low light settings. Now, first off, you're gonna need a gimbal or a physical stabilizer for your camera. Now, GoPros have really great built-in stabilization called HyperSmooth, but in low light, HyperSmooth doesn't really work so well, so a gimbal really helps. Gimbals are also great for other things like motion time lapses, and I have another video talking more about why you might need a gimbal for your action camera. But the gimbal that I'm using for these tests is called the Hohem iSteady Pro 4, and it's one of only a few gimbals out there that are available for the GoPro Hero 9, 10, 11, and 12. You can connect the GoPro via Bluetooth to do some basic controls with the handle like start and stop recording, or you can simply pop the GoPro into the gimbal and power it on to start using it. Now, when filming with a gimbal, I recommend trying to do a ninja walk or controlling how you walk because there's a bit of a bounce that you can get when using a gimbal. But if you control your steps and walk more steadily, you can reduce the bounce. Next, let's dive into the exact GoPro settings that I use. So first of all, enable a high bitrate and also select 10-bit color. Then go over into the video settings and select log. This is the brand new setting on the Hero 12 that makes a night and day difference in low light shooting. If you shoot in standard video or even HDR video, I think the image quality looks okay. And sorry, I was shooting without a gimbal for these shots, so they are a little bit shaky, but the blacks and the shadows can really get crushed. Shooting in log gives you more detail in the shadows, which is pretty key in low light. Now, to be completely fair, you can shoot in log on older GoPros, like the Hero 11 and the Hero 10, but it's not an option built into the camera. Instead, you have to activate it through GoPro Labs via their website or an app on your phone, which isn't the hardest thing in the world to do, but it is a little bit of extra work. The Hero 12 is the first GoPro that gives you log shooting natively in the camera. The only catch is that you'll likely have to edit the log footage to bring out the contrast and the colors, so expect to run it through a video editor when you're done shooting. Okay, back to the rest of the settings. So I like to shoot in the 16:9 aspect ratio, but you can also shoot in 8:7 if you want to crop in vertical or horizontal in post-production. I go to 4K resolution and 60 for the frame rate, and either the linear or the wide lens. Now for low light, I prefer wide because I feel like it captures more of the available light in the shot and can result in an overall brighter image. But I admit that in this sample footage comparison, I don't see a huge difference in the brightness. So you might want to go with linear, but again, I prefer wide just because I do feel like it helps a little bit. Next is HyperSmooth, and like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't really help you too much in low light, and it crops into your shot. Plus, you're using a gimbal for stabilization, so I personally turn HyperSmooth off. There's also an added bonus of not using HyperSmooth. If you find that you need further stabilization of your footage in post-production, you can actually run your video clips through GoPro's free RealSteady app, but it only works if you shot the original version without HyperSmooth. But just a little pro tip, and this actually works with low light shooting and daylight shooting and basically any footage that comes out of your GoPro. Next, go down to ProTune and set your shutter speed to 1/120th, or double that of the frame rate that you selected. In our case, it's 60, but if you chose a frame rate of 30, then your shutter speed would be 1/60. I leave the white balance on auto, but some people like to choose native, especially if you're going to be editing that footage in post-production anyway. And my ISO minimum is 100, and the ISO max is 400. The final setting that I'll tweak here is the sharpness, and I bring it all the way down to low. Shooting in medium or high sharpness, again, really degrades your image quality in low light. And you can always add your own sharpness in post-production if you really want it. So from here, the shot looks pretty good, but you can actually go a step further by reducing the noise. Now, by default, the camera automatically applies full noise reduction in camera, which can result in that noise or that grain that degrades the overall image quality. Now, unfortunately, GoPro isn't giving us noise reduction control in camera yet, but through GoPro Labs, you can actually control it. You can reduce it, you can turn it off completely, or you can leave it on full. Now, once you've got your settings dialed in, consider saving them as a preset. I called mine indoors, so you can easily get to them whenever you need them. And there you have it, my low light settings for shooting on the GoPro Hero 12. You know, the resulting image isn't perfect, but I do think it's better than what you would get by shooting in default. So let me know what you guys think, or if you have more GoPro low light settings or secrets to share. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned because I do have more GoPro videos along the way, including my annual GoPro accessory guide, which I'm working on as we speak.